Good morning, everyone. This is Rahul Sharma, Vedic practitioner from Chicago. I'm your host on Gurudev Gayatri on YouTube channel. And for the past 37 years, I have been studying the life, the books, and the teachings of one extraordinary human being, Gurudev Pandit Sharma Acharya, Mata Bhagavati Devi Sharma, and in this special video series of 192, the greatest investment strategy ever written, which I learned from Gurudev, and I'm going to give you some examples. We're going to talk about that in this five-part series. I want to share with you the single most powerful idea he has ever taught, an idea that I believe is also the most practical investment strategy a human life can take on. So, welcome to Invest with God. The opening question comes: if Warren Buffett has called the compound interest as the eighth wonder of the world, he said, he who understands it earns it, he who doesn't, he pays for it. So important, powerful thing is, and it took me many years to learn and understand that, even though Gurudev has been teaching it, but in true sense, it took me many years. So I have spent 37 years studying about Gurudev, and today I want to show you his investment portfolio, which is way more than the compound interest. It's not about the money, it's also about touching across millions of life, an investment whose returns keep growing for decades, for centuries, even after the investor is gone. And we are all looking for the legacy, and today you will really truly learn how you can create a legacy for your family, for your many generations. So since I have spent 37 years studying Gurudev, I will be able to show his investment portfolio to you. So let's talk about the next thing, the problem no investor has ever solved. Okay, you will always be struggling, where to invest money and how to grow, and how you can be saved from the market ups and down. So look at the world, the life we live in today. The Nasdaq is at the records high. Global wealth has crossed $100 trillion in the financial market. And we have the technology that can connect us to anyone on earth in seconds. And yet, Gen Z is the most anxious generation in the recorded history. Loneliness is now described by the WHO as a global epidemic, not only for Gen Z but for the old parents, who are left alone at home, and everybody is running across the earning income in various countries as an immigrant. The wealthiest society on the earth are also reporting the highest rate of depression and the purposelessness, and that's the biggest epidemic. Why? Because for all our sophistication as investor in a stock, in real market, in business technology, in digital assets, we have left the most important portfolio completely empty, the portfolio of human character, the portfolio of inner wisdom, the portfolio of love, purpose, and meaning and relationship. Gurudev Pandit Sharma Acharya dedicated his entire life to solving this problem, and he solved it. And that's where we want to learn and see how we can be the biggest investor. So, what is a God business? Let's talk about that. When you are trying to become an investor, you always try to read the documents from various companies, what kind of business they do, who is managing the business, who's on the board, and then you really decide that where you want to invest money, because now you have some confidence based on their chairman, their board of directors. Now just imagine if before we look at the investment portfolio, what the business God is doing it. If he is the chairman of that business, why not we invest there? So God business is not about the ritual. It is not about a religion. It is not about promoting blind faith and you buy this and buy this ring and this stone and have your house in this direction versus that direction. That's not God business. God business is not about going to the temple or church or mosque and performing the ceremonies. The God true business is this: to make this world a beautiful garden, a place of love, affection, humility, and harmony, where every person lives with dignity, where every life has a purpose. Gurudev expressed this through one Sanskrit phrase that became the heartbeat of everything he built, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Of course, he is not the one who originally written that, but he really made that happen in his ashram Shanti Kunj Haridwar, where I have visited multiple times since 1989, and I have seen that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, where there is no distinction between caste and creed and male or female. This is the business. Now let us look at how one man invested in it and what his returns have been. Pandit Shriram Sharma Acharya, who is founder of the All World Gayatri Pariwar, who's interpreted this as embodying the holistic vision of human excellence, not merely the material wealth, but the integration of the prosperity, compassion, friendship, purity, equanimity, and he emphasized that the true Lakshmi, the prosperity about, is not the wealth of the character, but the relationship you are going to manage that. Now, what is the Gurudev investment with God? How he invested himself with God's business? He invested with time, money, and effort. So let's talk about the time. In the first asset Gurudev has invested in his portfolio was at the age of 15 itself. As a boy in a small village in Avalkheda near Agra, Pandit Shriram Sharma Acharya made a decision that would define the next 75 years of his life. He dedicated himself completely, surrendered himself completely to the God's work. Not only weekends, just like I am doing only weekends, few hours here, but complete dedicated 24 hours without even worrying about the going to school or going to college or get a professional degree, how he's going to earn his salary, how he's going to have his family life. Without thinking on those things, he did that. And he has completed 24 Mahapurush, which is the very tough 2.4 million times chanting of Gayatri month every single year for 24 years, starting from the age 15. And then he authored more than 3,400 books and translating the entire 4 Vedas, 108 Purans, and wrote his own 109th Puran, Pragya Puran, with all those of work and building relationship with the people, who understand and wanted to be the co-investor with him in this God's business. Think about what this means as an investment. Every hour he spent in writing, every satsang he led, every disciple he guided, that hour is still compounding today. And I will show you the data also on that. And no dividends taken out. He put everything into the compounding way, and every return reinvested into the Gayatri mission, Gayatri Pariwar. This is how you build a portfolio that lasts beyond your lifetime. Some of the major stone, 1953, when he founded Akhand Jyoti magazine, which is still publishing every single month at a very nominal cost in multiple languages. And in 1971, he established the Shanti Kunj headquarters, Haridwar in India, near Rishikesh. And in 1990, he transformed his physical body into the astral body and the causal body, which is nothing but his thoughts and the emotion. And that's what keep driving people like me for last many, many years. We don't even feel the gap that he is not here. And with 75 years of his continuous investment, with more than 3,400 books authored, let's see what else he invested. Now, the second investment which anybody can do as an investor is the money, which most of you are already investing somewhere in your 401k, in your annuities, in your mutual fund, or in a stock. So whatever the seed capital will Gurudev had. If we see the second asset class of money in financial investing, we can talk about this seed capital, the initial amount you put into that, which grows over time with compound rate of interest. In Gurudev's seed capital, only Mataji, his wife, Bhagavati Devi Sharma, donated every single piece of jewelry she had received at her wedding. Every ornament, everything, to establish Gayatri Tapobhumi in Mathura. That was the only thing they have, and they started just on the God's master plan. And that was their financial capital, almost zero by worldly standards. Okay, but I will show you the return, which is way richer than any other billionaire today. And what is the return on the investment today? We'll talk about that. Shanti Kunj, Haridwar headquarters, Gayatri Tapobhumi in Mathura, the Brahmacharya Research Center, where modern science meets Vedic wisdom. More than 5,000 Shakti Peeth across the world, Dev Sanskriti, Vishwadhyalaya University, a full university in Haridwar, and all of this from a handful of wedding ornaments. That's the true compounded interest, and you can go and see that even after so many years, those things are constantly growing. From the time I visited Shanti Kunj in 1989, whenever I visited last 3 years ago or so, it has always been expanding, expanding, expanding. I've always seen the growth. Same thing I'm seeing in Chicago, how they started in a rented place in a gas station. Today, now they are planning to build a $5 million property, which is more than 16,000 square feet. So every single place, every single city, country, they are constantly scoping. So ROI is immeasurable. It's still appreciating. And based on that, let's talk about the next one. So what is the return of investment? You always think about the, oh, I'm making 10%, I'm making 5%. Oh, I don't want to take a risk. I'm happy with the annuity with 6%, 7%. If you see the return on investment on Gurudev's time and money, 150 million lives have been touched and is still growing. 35 years even after his Mahasamadhi. I am one of those examples whose life was touched in 1989, but my dedication and contribution of the time on weekends or otherwise is continuously increasing and further is going to increase also. Just like me, there are 150 such millions of people. More than 5,000 such Gayatri Chetna Center. As I mentioned about Chicago, we are building now $5 million property with 16,000 square feet. So many people can come and learn and get their life impacted. More than 80 plus countries this Gayatri Pariwar has reached. Without Gurudev has ever been visited those countries. Many people whom I know personally has never even met him. But the impact of his writing, his books, his thoughts is so touchable that nobody can deny the facts when he start talking about that. And as you start reading his book, my home is filled with all his books and continue to find new thoughts and idea to create such kind of videos. And that's the reason I'm talking about this with confidence. The ROI, the investment in the God business is very, very high. So what is the investment formula? Partner with God and what you can do, how you can do that. Gurudev has given a very simple formula. If you want to live in a beautiful world where everybody loves, respect each other, have a good, beautiful relationship, very simple formula is हम बदलेंगे युग बदलेगा, हम सुधरेंगे युग सुधरेगा. I have been listening this for last 37 years and now I realize the power of this one. So we cannot change anybody else. I have to always understand I personally, I will change. That will change my family. Seeing our family, my neighborhood will change. Seeing my neighborhood, the city will change, and the country will change, and the world will change. That's the only root cause solution and root cause of the problem also today. So first thing I have understood that I have to change myself. That's the investment formula, and that I have been applying every single day. And what you can invest, as I mentioned, we all have three things. God has given 24 hours to each one of us. Out of 24 hours, I have to balance my life between my health, between my job, between my family, and then, of course, God's business. And how you can do that? Maybe just 30 minutes a day for your self-development, whether you read a book, you listen to audiobook while driving, whichever way fits well for you. And it doesn't necessary that you only read Gurudev's book, but Gurudev's content are so powerful that any related book you will find in the best-selling book today. Weekly satsang at temple, definitely find local Gayatri Chetna Center and start plugging there for every single week with your family. They have Bal Sanskar Shala, where your children can also learn if you're married and have kids. And share the Gurudev thoughts. How you can share Gurudev thoughts? Because you cannot really copy what he has thought and written in so many years. So his thoughts are written in his books, in his video, in his audios. Akhand Jyoti magazine. You start promoting that. You start distributing those. Promote Gayatri Sadhana and Yajna. How you do that? At your own home, you start conducting such ceremonies for your marriage anniversary, for your birthdays, for any of your sanskars. Invite a lot of people who have never been exposed to Gayatri Yajna. That way you are promoting Gayatri Sadhana and Yajna, and that's why you're investing your time and efforts. Sharing my videos and this YouTube channel at Gurudev Gayatri, where people who doesn't understand Hindi, doesn't understand any other language, but English is common language across the world. So at Gurudev Gayatri YouTube channel, I have almost created 170 plus YouTube videos, which is completely aligned with Gurudev's thoughts and Gurudev's ideas and Gurudev's books, but English narration in my own words, and that will continue until my life. So that is one way you can invest your time in promoting the Gurudev's thought to make this world beautiful. Second thing, you all have a skill, and I have a skill in presentation, in talking, in conducting the sanskars, all our Vedic rituals. So I invest my time on weekends in either creating this kind of contents, recording the videos, and going to temple. And sometimes I talk to the children in the Bal Sanskar Shala maybe twice, thrice a year, and then I conduct all the ceremonies with no blind faith, but true facts what Gurudev has identified that. So you can use your skills anywhere to volunteer for this God's business. Last thing which everybody has, and you cannot deny that, we all have the money. We all are getting income through our job, through our business. Putting aside $100 per month to local Gayatri Chetna Kendra or Shanti Kunj headquarters is not a big deal for anyone who are immigrant, who are moved out of India just to make money. Just invest that kind of money in God's business and see the return, as I showed you the example. Commit for the construction fund for the new Gayatri temple at Itasca. Even though you are not from Chicago, but you're nearby city, one center created like this in each of the other cities and countries is going to definitely bless you with that. I have put this scan code. Please scan this. You can commit any amount through your credit card per month, per year, one time, whatever money, but commit to that. So at least you are investing with a God. You don't need to create any account like in any other investment banks, but you can start creating account with this God's business. Sponsoring authentic teaching, so scan and commit. So there are three things you can be partner with the God: time, skills, and the money. So what is your assignment today? Before I let you go, ask yourself a question: what is my current portfolio in God's work? You might have $500,000, $1 million portfolio in any bank or with your 401k or annuities or anything else. That is not going to give you the kind of benefit what you're going to get from the God's bank. So just want to make sure it's not theoretically real question I want you to sit with. First, what is your current portfolio in God's work? Not what you intend to do. Intention is not going to give you that benefit. What are you actually investing right now? Second, how many hours per week are you investing in your own transformation? Hum badlenge, yug badlega. So self-transformation in reading, in learning, in applying the teachings. Okay, you can watch so many of my videos. Always I give the recommendation to read books in English, or of course Gurudev's books are always available online also. And third, one small step that you can take this week. Just one step every single time, every single week. Gurudev didn't build 150 million followers overnight. He built it one day, one person, one teaching at a time. For 75 years, your journey begins the same way. One decision, 1 hour, one commitment through this QR code, one teaching share. In next episode, we are going to talk about 5 of the historical greatest spiritual investors like Vivekananda, Guru Nanak Dev, Mother Teresa, Buddha. So you can understand it's not only one person. There are so many people like there who has multiplied that in God's business. If they can get it, you can also get it. So don't even think that you cannot have time for God's work or you cannot donate the money for the Gurudev's work. Subscribe to my channel at the rate Gurudev Gayatri on YouTube if you're not done that, and promote these videos. Share this video to your all the groups. And I have also started creating professional videos for my LinkedIn post that how each one of our Vedic teaching can also be applied in our day-to-day professional job, professional business. That will be there. So that is your investment in God's work. With this, thank you everyone. Jai Gurudev. We'll talk to you next week.